In a world of glitz and glam, flashing lights and screaming fans, most people are unaware of the war that rages behind the scenes. And that war includes your favorite artist and your favorite songs. This is The Dark Side of Songwriting, hosted by Nayim Edwards.
Welcome to The Dark Side of Songwriting. My name is Nayim Edwards. I am your host, and today, to quote either, I think it was Young Thug or it was Boosie's daughter. I don't remember whose daughter it was, but that young girl said, I told y'all niggas, y'all didn't want to believe me, but I told y'all niggas. I already said months ago that NBA YoungBoy was going to come out and do the exact same shit that he is doing in his Billboard interview, denouncing his music, talking about he fucked up, talking about he want to go do something else. You know, in this interview, he's talking about, I'm going to go try to join the Mormon church, and I didn't do this, and I don't want to be a part of the violence. I didn't even know what none of this stuff was. Okay, whatever. Let's take that for what it is. Let's run down why YoungBoy is an industry plant. I don't care what nobody say. This is the most perfect industry plant we've had since 50 Cent maybe? Like, this is one of the most impactful industry plants that we have ever had. And people seem to not understand what an industry plant is. An industry plant could be a whole lot of things, but this is somebody that they took from somewhere where nobody was even thinking about looking for no talent, and nobody was thinking about paying attention to whatever was going on. They dressed them up and they put them out there in front. But we got to go all the way back to the reasons that YoungBoy is the perfect industry plant, and he was used by these labels to push their agenda to destroy the culture and destroy music and all this other shit. Number one, NBA YoungBoy mama was a rapper. A lot of people don't remember that. A lot of people don't even know that. They might have seen something recently. She had a hit song and everything. We can talk about nepotism. We can talk about this or that because, according to him, she didn't raise him. She was never really around because, I mean, she's a rapper. She was doing her thing. She was in the business. She was in the industry. A lot of people leave the industry, but they don't ever really leave the industry. They're always doing something that has to do with music, because my thing is, once you pick a career of music, it becomes something completely different. Your life is not the same as a person who can work at the bus station or you don't see the world the same. It doesn't even make sense to even go do a civilian job once you decided to pick a career in music, because why the fuck would I do that? I have this. This is going to make me whatever. I'm saying that because, and we're going to talk about YoungBoy mama tomorrow, but I'm saying she was a rapper, meaning that whatever connection she might have had, whatever connection she could have, whatever she gained along the way, do you honestly believe that somehow, some way they just discovered YoungBoy out of some mythological place and he was just young and wild and doing all of this shit? No, this was contrived. He was 16 years old. He already said they gave me millions of dollars when I was 16 to push this message. That wasn't my message. There is no expose when it comes to that kind of stuff, but we're going to hold that for after what I'm going to say. Number two, his contract was up. When your contract is up, that means the writers go back to the label, the writers move on to the next artist, the writers move on to this. NBA YoungBoy, absolutely, positively, and I remember the first time I discovered that he had ghost writers. I was looking through something, and it was like, there's a whole list of them. NBA YoungBoy has a whole team of writers. The music that he was making, being that the contract is up, those people going back and they're moving on to the next, and they're going to be making the next NBA YoungBoy. You don't get to keep them unless you pay them, unless you pay or whatever. You know, a lot of people work for free and shit nowadays, but that's something for another time. What I'm saying is the contract was up, so they're going to be trying to figure out how they can rebrand, or he can go independent. He's not going independent. Atlantic Records has this thing of making people. The people, there's only maybe one or two people, a little bit of a handful of people who were ever on Atlantic Records who never was tainted with the nonsense that comes with being with Atlantic Records. Point blank, period. YoungBoy is a 100% made up, contrived entity. There's no, and this is my thing is, how did people not see this, and how did people not notice this, and how did people not know this? But that's something else as well. Those writers is going back. So who the fuck is going to put together? You can't maintain this forever. My thing is, it doesn't last forever unless you stay forever. The fact that you didn't stay, the fact that he kept making albums and making albums and making albums and trying to appease them to get the music back, that is something that a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to give you more, so maybe you'll give me back that. No, your first music is going to always be that music that people fall in love with. People are not going to stop listening to YoungBoy. People are not going to stop fucking with YoungBoy. It's not going to change, like, because of the foundation he laid down. Another thing is, maybe number 3, he actually lived long enough to see the era of his ways and the expose, as some people is trying to make it out like he exposed the label. You can't expose a record label. Record labels have been the same since the beginning of time. I know that in their contracts, specifically over there, he's under one of the sub companies that's the big label. I think it's a UMG, but it's not UMG now. I think it was Warner. Well, I guess Warner, whatever. He's the main people over there in their contracts. Some people that sign over there, their whole mission is to maintain the rights and maintain the publishing, and they have whole teams that put people together, whole writers that put shit together. All we need is a body, and we can push it. If you a body that looks like something that people could grab onto, they can take and push it. YoungBoy is not no different. You don't get that big. We don't manufacture your success. We don't push you to be number one of the young niggas, so you could get out here and do what you want to. You are a asset to this company. You are a part of this business. You are something that we put money into. That's why a nigga will come out and be like, oh, I don't know nothing about none of this stuff. You know, they told me to do this. They put the money in my pocket and they made me do it. That's not exposing. That is business. That is the cost of doing business. Nobody forced him to sign no contract. Nobody forced him to do nothing. You wanted to participate. That doesn't not make you a plant. People think that industry plants be, and then it could be this way, but people think an industry plant is somebody we're just going to put out there. No, the best industry plant is a nigga like this. Your mother was already here. You want to achieve success. You out there broke as fuck. You got an image. You really from a place. You really got relationships with people. That, and to say industry plant doesn't necessarily mean fake. It doesn't necessarily mean untrue. It just means I'm going to put something, one of the ways, because there's plenty of ways to be a plant, plenty of plants. Most rappers are industry plants. They're all plants. Why would I give you millions of dollars, fund you and put you in the front and not plant and force my agenda? Why the fuck wouldn't I do? Why would I put money into you if I can't push my agenda and my goals? That doesn't even make sense. Most of these people are real people with real stories, have done real stuff, but it might not be heightened to the point. Why do you think NBA YoungBoy somehow, some way just has the luckiest legal situations that anybody could ever have? Because none of this shit is real. That shit's not real. You know what a real rapper looks like? A real rapper look like Pooh Shiesty. You haven't even been successful for a year. Now you in prison. You gonna be in prison longer than you gonna be rich and famous. That's what real rappers look like. Young Dolph. You have achieved massive success, but your enemies are so powerful and so strong. Hey, nigga, we will drop you in front of the lemon cookies. We're gonna drop you at these people's business, get them shut down. A whole conspiracy. That's what a real rapper looks like. A real rapper doesn't look like this, because in real life, when you do something devastating, you pay the price. There's been plenty of rappers. Real rappers look like Sean Poe. Nigga, you coming up, you bubbling, you hot. You got one of the hottest songs. You on the hottest soundtrack. You do one favor for one nigga you thought had your back, and it's over. That is what real rappers look like. Real rappers don't look like a nigga getting 10 years probation, going out. And niggas didn't even think when this nigga was talking about, yeah, my grandparents in Utah, I was raised by these people. I love McConan. I grew up on his music. He's like my favorite. I really just love his music. Like, nobody thought to put the shit together. But my thing is, motherfuckers is so blinded by the caricature, they don't even notice the fact that, hey, there's plenty of clues being dropped that this is not a real person. This is a real person by definition of anatomy, but this isn't a real person by definition of whatever's being happening in the music. Because if you listen to YoungBoy's music, my nose is itching. If you listen to YoungBoy's music, it's never really, it's crazy as it sounds, but if you listen to all of it, a lot of it is not as heavy with the violence and the crazy shit as the shit that's being put out in the forefront. This nigga is a gold mine, just like Kodak Black is a gold mine. There's a lot of people that they're on the same label, or they were on the same label. A lot of people, you don't get to go to there, and this be my problem with the songwriters. A lot of songwriters and people, everybody wants to change something or whatever. The thing is, you're not going to an institution and changing shit. You're not going to somebody else's business and deciding to rewrite the business model. It doesn't work like that. You don't get to go to an already established entity who has had the gears going, and they know way more about how to corrupt you than you do to try to save yourself when you get out of that situation with them. That's what I'm saying. You're better off building your own thing. People saying, oh, we're happy he's coming out and this is that. And it's good that he's coming out and it's good. But my thing is, it's too late. YoungBoy, it's too late for you to try to do whatever. You can absolutely change the narrative. And the good thing about this is you live long enough to change your narrative. Because it could have been over a long time ago. They could have had you taken out. You could have been taken out. But the thing is, you don't go you're not in the mix. This is just a nigga. You can tell this was a recluse. This person is never in the mix. This person is never around. These niggas never really seen with nobody. He do his own thing. He don't do no features. This is the perfect recipe for an industry plant. He won't make no money off his YouTube, the biggest YouTube channel on the platform. And you can argue if it's real or if it's fake, but it's real because, I mean, we got to argue if it's real or if it's fake, because if you come out telling us what they told you to do, how do we know that the numbers are real? How can you have the biggest YouTube platform, but you don't sell the most amount of records? You sell a lot of music, 100%, but that's something else. Because I don't like to use numbers as ad populum arguments to justify my stuff, because that doesn't matter. The point of the matter is, this is an industry plant, and there's plenty of them. Most of them are industry plants. Most of these niggas are weird. Most of these niggas is just like this, soft-spoken, never do interviews because you're not educated, you don't know how to talk, you don't know how to mix and mingle, you're not social. I would argue, for real, do this nigga even got 10 kids or however many kids he got? I don't even think he has that many children. Not in real life. Because when you have a situation like this, where a person comes out and tells you, hey, I was given millions of dollars to push an agenda. I was given millions of dollars to push somebody else's statement. I was given millions of dollars since a teenager to do what they told me to do. You know, I'm really from Utah. I'm not even, this is not what I'm into. Like, this is not my thing. I'm soft-spoken. I love McConan. That's my favorite. I grew up on academics, all this kind of stuff. I'm not really, I didn't even know what violence and that kind of stuff was, but I was bullied and I created a character so people wouldn't want to bother me because I was being bullied. Who's to say that everything you see is not fake? Everything you see online is not fake. The numbers ain't fake. Everything, we don't even know if this is a physical person at this point. It's all what would make me believe, and like I say, an industry fake can be a real person, but what would make me believe that anything that you got paid for is something else? You know what I'm saying? I feel like you know what I'm saying. All I'm saying is, perfect industry plant. It is what it is. He's not the first one. He's not going to be the last one, but he's the best one. These are real people with real stories from real places who do real things. It's just, hey, I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. He didn't expose the music industry. Bro, you get paid to put that Target uniform on, and that means you embody the values and the morals that the Target LLC or whatever they call themselves, the Target Corporation or the Walmart Corporation embody. And the minute that you stop, agreeing with that, you gotta go. That's the dark side of this. You don't have any control. You don't have any autonomy over yourself. You don't get to make the rules or pick what you want to do. You do what we tell you to do, and when your time is up, if you don't die, that's what it is. So.